These go.
Okay,
Okay,
If that.
yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
fine, absolutely.
there you go.
Okay. So my name is Diana Sinkus. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator at Habitat for Humanity North Central Mass, and this is my colleague Lisa. She is the Family Services and DEI Coordinator, and she helps all of our families become homeowners. So I think that part of our mission and part of what I do is there are so many misconceptions about Habitat that we're trying to make people understand what we do. So we build 2 homes a year and we do at least 24 critical home repairs. Critical home repairs meaning we'll repair a roof. If it's critical for you to live there and live there safely, accessibility, you can't get into use your facilities safely, or there's something wrong with your flooring, or whatever you would deem something that would be critical for you to live safely in your house. We do those. So there is an application process for both. The application for the critical home repair is a little bit less than the home ownership, but it is 60% below median income, and that is a sliding scale. So it doesn't mean you have to be exactly 60%. We can go up to 80%. But you do have to be able to pay for it. For all of our critical home repairs, if our construction managers can do it, you only pay for the materials, you don't pay for labor, which is, if anyone's done any home improvement projects, they know how much labor is. If we do have to hire a contractor, like a roofer, we have to have a licensed roofer or a plumber, then they do have to pay it, but we make sure that what people are paying for is what they can afford. We don't want you to live in your home safely, but you can't put food on your table because you're paying Habitat for something that we've done. So we always make sure that we help you to help us pay back what you're doing. So we do that. We're doing right now, Lisa, I'm working with Lisa on the critical home repair program. We're doing some stuff with Owens Corning for roof repairs for veterans. And we also have a repair corps for veterans that we're trying to get to pay most, if not all, of the cost for the veterans. So we are trying to do some veterans outreach, and our goal is to just help people and get the word out. Because a lot of people think that we give away homes. We do not give them away. That is one of the biggest myths, say that, oh, you get a free home. You don't. There is a large application process. Lisa will be able to help out with that. So there's an application process, and once they get approved financially, then there's an interview process, and there has to be a need. You have to need a home. We've built 2 homes recently in Fitchburg. We're finishing up our second one. We've built on Taft Street. The woman was a wonderful woman who lived in a 1-bedroom with her 2 children. So she's now in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Fitchburg, and she pays her mortgage, and she's a great asset to the city. And I think that people also think that she didn't have to do anything. She just filled out an application and that was it. No, she put 250 hours of sweat equity into her home. So she helped build that home. And I think that's something else that is a big, misconception, that we just give things away, and we don't. We are here to help people. We want people to be in their homes safely. People also think that only certain groups of people, we are completely diverse. It doesn't matter what color, creed, nationality, does not matter. Male, female, family, single, that doesn't matter. You obviously have to fit into the house. There are some rules about having large families in a 3-bedroom. But we can always make those things work. So everyone always thinks that Jimmy Carter, who is one of our largest, greatest volunteers ever, started Habitat. He did not, but he's awesome. He was 96 years old and he was still building in Georgia with his group. So the Fullers, Millard and Lisa Fullard, Linda Fullard, in 1976 started Habitat for Humanity, and we are now worldwide. So we are in every single country. And we're helping people to live in a home safely. And I think that's what we do the most. Our goal is to do more than 24 critical home repairs, and we are working very, very hard to do that. We're going to beat our goal this year. We beat it last year, and I think we might crush it this year, which is amazing because we have such a great need for home repairs in this area. And we cover Acton to Athol. We cover those 30 towns. So we cover a large territory. Our office is moving to more central. We're moving to Leominster on Monday, which is very exciting. And we also have one other thing that I want to bring up is our Restore that's on 117 in Leominster is open to the public. It is huge that people know it's there. If you have an item you want to donate, we will come pick it up for free. That gets turned around, gets sold at the Restore, and then that money goes back to help us build homes and do critical home repairs. And you can also go there and shop, which is great. There's everything. And I think some people think, oh, well, it's just used stuff. That Warner, our manager over there, is very picky about what's being taken. And we also get new items. We also sell cabinets there, and we just started deconstruction process, which is something that will come in and remove your cabinets for free. We will take them out of your house. We will remove them. It's a tax write-off for you. It saves on your kitchen demo, and it really helps out. But I want everyone to go check out the Restore because you need to go there. The building doesn't really look like a retail store, but it is, and it's open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5, and definitely go check it out.
Where is it located
It's
exactly?
right on 117. I always tell people it's between the it's between the two sets of lights, the one that's by Lowe's and the one that's by the 435, that restaurant. So it's right in between there. So
It's a great place if you're a theater person like me to find the
Mhm.
pieces or props, but also the paint, about the.
Yes.
The, oh, what is it called? Your brand of paint,
Recover, is it recover?
it's recolor, it might be it's
Recolor.
re something.
That's pretty bad.
It's
It's made of recycled paint,
made of
right?
recycled paint, and it's excellent, and it's actually, it's better than paint you go buy, because it's recycled, so that you're helping the environment. And you only need one coat, so there's that too. So there's a lot of benefits from it, but we also have a deal with Macy's where we get Macy's products. They have overages. So we get a lot of their products. We've had some stuff in there that, dehumidifiers and pots and pans. And so it's all new stuff that you can reuse, and it helps people build homes. So, up there it is. Recolor.
Color.
It was right. So yeah, so that's basically what you do. You want to add? I just talked, I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
well, I mean, I was gonna talk a little bit more about home
I want,
ownership.
yes, I
but
think, yes.
Did you have? We got the
Um,
volunteer stuff?
Oh, yeah. Volunteer, that's right, thank you. How we do our job.
Was a little comment too at some point to move closer to them,
Oh,
maybe hear it just a little.
I'm
bit
not
better.
talking loud enough, I'm sorry. So all of our, there are 5 women in the office. There are 2 part-time, the rest, 3 are part-time. All of our homes are built from volunteers. We partner with vocational schools, Leominster CTE and Monty Tech and Neshoba. We have partnered with all of them. They help us build the homes. But we also need volunteers on days when they're not here or after they leave. So volunteering, you can volunteer in our office, you can volunteer at the Restore, or you can volunteer at the construction site. We also have things, people say they want to help volunteer. We have events such as Women Build, or we have Veteran Builds. We have certain, fun weeks that we have some special stuff. You can come make lunches for the volunteers. So you don't have to, go and do a construction site in order to help us out. And our construction managers are fantastic. You can work at the actual new build, or you could work at some of our critical home repairs, and you don't need to know how to do anything. They will show you how to do it. And there's always something that you can help do. So, some of our largest groups that we have are young, 20 somethings, and our seniors that have retired and they want to do something. Come volunteer with us. It's how we get things done. And it's great. People that have worked in an office that no longer work in office come over and help us out. It's great. We have so much to do, but we just are trying to get the word out that we're here to help people, and that's what we're here to do. And we call it a hand up, not a hand out. So it's important. And I want Lisa to talk about how you become a new homeowner with Habitat.
Okay, did you want to, if anybody has any questions about Diana's topics before we go into the home ownership
I have
thing?
one question.
Yeah.
I think I already know the answer, but.
That's okay.
Do you do?
Mhm.
Critical repairs? And you don't have to live in a home that was built by Habitat. to
Nope,
get those.
it can be, you just have to be you just have to be a homeowner. That's it. You just have to own the home. So it does not have to be a Habitat home. Because we can only build 2 a year. We do 24 critical home repairs at least a year. So it can be any resident in any of the 30 towns that we cover.
Okay.
And we do a lot. Go ahead.
So one of the things we talked about here, is we're talking about the BF Brown project, which is affordable housing, and I mean, I think this is. When we talked about qualifying for affordable housing, is that the same scale? The median income scale that you use for your programs?
Yes. So there is the, with the application process for the new homes, it is an application process. And I'm talking about Lisa's job, but she,
Well, critical home repair too.
she
We use
will.
the same,
We use the same
income.
parameters, so, both the applications come in and there's a process, they come in through me. And then they go to Lisa, she does some financial stuff with it, we make sure it's approved, we find out what they want, we get a quote for it. And then depending on the amount, it has to go to the board for approval, and then we do the job for them, but there's agreements that are signed, so everybody knows what they're getting into. I had a woman call this week, and we had said that $50 was her payment a month, and she called and she said, I can't afford it. I can't do it. And she was very upset. And we moved it to $35 for her because I'm not taking food off a woman's table because she can't afford, and it's only $15 a month, but when you're living, paycheck to paycheck and you don't have that money, $15 is a lot of money. So we will work with people to help them pay back the loan that they do borrow from us.
On the new builds, who owns the land?
We do.
So you own the land
And then we sell it to the homeowner.
I
So
see.
we are, most of the time, we like to be given land. Or sometimes we pay $1 for it, because land is very expensive and all of our houses are affordable. So we're keeping houses between 179 to 200,000, I believe is the estimated, which if anyone has looked at for a house anytime soon, you can't touch anything. It's 3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
And is the price driven by, like independent of market rates?
It,
Or is it somewhat tagged to market, like with market?
it's it's tagged for low income, so the home will always remain low income. So that's what the low income rate is, so that way they can have an affordable mortgage. And that way they can afford it on what their pay scale is. And we have had a couple of clients that have, been able to move out of the Habitat homes, and when they do, they sell them back to us. And it still stays, so it stays in that low income lottery, which is great, because then we were able to give another family a home. We were sold another family a home, so I shouldn't say that, we did not give it to her. But the money they put in, they were able to get back, and it's another house, because it should be 9% of every town should have low income housing, and we are not even close to it. Anywhere in the 30 towns that we have.
And that's it, because I know you have stuff, but just. I know and I think this has come up too with some of our other conversations, but now with the governor's. In what's his name, Augustus, their push for more affordable housing, are you actually seeing a benefit from that mandate, or is it just talk?
Right.
well, our executive director is very busy going to events and over Zoom and in person to help advocate for that stuff to really come to fruition. Because sometimes the talk takes up a lot more space than the action, and I don't think she doubts there's a serious commitment. It's just.
It's a serious commitment.
It's a
It's
pretty
just gonna
complex
take-
issue, and.
Yeah.
And there's some things that also get in our way of being able to produce more quickly, and like solar, this was been a big thing. We're committed to all the homes are green energy based homes, and so they all now have solar going in. And yet the requirements are that a solar specific electrician has to do the install. And that's costly and it's time consuming, and you have to have other people on the site with them, and you have to have them inspected by certain types of people, and it just creates time sucks, and it just makes us less efficient, but we have to do the right thing. We want to do the right thing. And I'm not mean to sound like I'm complaining a lot, but it is an example of where the state could work with
Mhm.
builders and such a little bit more proactively to reduce the barriers. You can't eliminate them altogether perhaps, but maybe not throw them up so quickly in some such situations,
Yeah.
because that's been a real challenge in the last couple houses to try to get the solar's on the house, and but it's not in it,
It's
it's
not
not
connected.
operational because
Yeah.
of these kinds of issues. So Yeah.
And it has been a large time suck because we're trying to figure out how to run it and they keep changing the rules and how they do it. So our homes are all energy efficient, which, and with the solar panels, it means that our homeowners don't have an electric bill, which is amazing. We've already, this town was one of them that we had she was a little afraid when she got her first bill. So, but anyone who lives in a Unitil town knows that that's why we have solar panels. Cause it's a lot. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. A lot of it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so as Diana mentioned, on average, our particular Habitat calls them affiliates, but most people think of chapters. I think it just makes more sense.
Mhm.
Our affiliate builds on average 2 a year, and that seems like a slow pace when you realize the need, obviously, in the area. But between the dependency on the donated land ideally and the donated labor, and the donations to fund all that, because that's how it's all funded. The wheels turn kind of slowly, but we actually have quite a few things we're hoping will happen in 25 based on some land prospects that we have now. That would speed us up a bit, just getting the land. Sometimes takes months, if not a year or
Yes,
more.
yeah.
So the application process is all dictated by affordable housing regulations with really, and a little bit of habitat policy, but 90% of it is affordable housing regulations. So we don't stray from that. You know, we have to keep, we have to notify people ahead of time when the application period is going to start. It has to run for at least 60 days. We have to process the applications timely in order to keep up with deadlines that are set by the state and the federal government. And that income ratio that we were talking about is part of the regulation, much like Jesse was saying, for even renters and stuff, that it has to, for the sale of the home, it has to go to somebody between 30 and 60% of area median income, though there is some flexibility to go up to 80. So when we put the applications out, we make sure, including critical home repair, there's a table inside with every application, so people very clearly know whether or not their monthly gross income for the household meets the criteria for anything from a 1 to an 8-person household. It's spelled out pretty clearly. And then the rest of it ends up being much like a normal mortgage application. So it is a pretty heavy lift for home ownership application because they have to provide us the background documentation on income and expenses, and including 3 years of tax returns and 2 months of bank statements and 2 months of pay stubs. And it's a lot of work to ask of people, when, especially when many of them are living in very substandard conditions or very stressful conditions with families, single parents, and juggling jobs, couple jobs, and just some really difficult situations. And so the last application series that we had for the house in Leominster that we're finishing up, we had 45 applications for one house.
It's the most we've ever had.
Yeah, and it was my first time taking applications for a Habitat house. So it was, of course, a quick learn for me. I was like, okay, I got to get on board with this really fast. But I was really impressed with how hard people work to get that information in. You know, if there was things missing and I was on the phone or sending an email, every one of those 45 applications, people were very responsive and tried their best to get what they could to us very, very, as quickly as possible. So they are literally underwritten by a licensed loan originator. So the financial part is done by a licensed loan originator to weigh out if they meet that criteria for the income level, as well as their debt to income ratio and their ability to manage a mortgage of whatever the approximate number is we think it's going to be, which for these houses, the last 3 actually are all been $167,000 is the mortgage. We also do have a down payment expectation, but we can set it what we want it to be. And so our affiliate does it at 1%. So it makes it much more likely that people can come to the table with $1,500 or so for closing costs / down payment, rather than your traditional down payment. If the applications make it through that financial stage, which some of them did for the Lemonster House, and many of them didn't, unfortunately. There is a home visit component. That's kind of a unique habitat piece where we have a family selection committee. It kind of harkens back to older times of Habitat where people really spent time getting to know the families who were applying and trying to weigh in on the decision about who needed the house or the housing the most. Now that part is done by lottery, but we do still have family selection committee members go out and actually meet the family in their homes, introduce themselves, get a little bit more knowledgeable about their situation, as well as answer questions that the prospective homeowners might have. And then there is a chance, depending on how the home visit goes, that people, maybe the need really isn't. I guess in the past, there has been sometimes some misrepresentation of need. There has to be a need, and Habitat spells it out very clearly. It's a really broad range of needs. So it can be that the house is in an unsafe neighborhood. It can be that there's too many people in the house to not result in overcrowding. It can be that the landlord and relationship is poor. There's a lot of different reasons there can be a need for them to have a different house. So it's pretty easy to meet that requirement. And then the other thing that they have to be able to meet that Diana alluded to was a sweat equity requirement. For a single adult in the household, it is 250 hours. And once they're selected, they have between when they're selected to when the house closes to get your 250 hours in. If there's 2 adults in the household, it can go up to 350, 400. And it's, as she mentioned, anything, you could build that time by going on site where the build is happening. You can volunteer at the restore, you can volunteer in the office, you can do special events with us. And you can also have family members help up to 20% of those hours. So if you have friends and family who like to, want to help you build your number of hours quicker, they can come to the build site as well or volunteer otherwise. It helps a lot when you think about the number of people who apply for the houses who are have children, and getting to work is one thing, but also coming onto a build site on a Saturday or Thursday afternoon or something to try to build your time can really be a challenge to get that number of hours, and it's quite a bit. So the commitment is large. So having family or friends help is good. And if you do have to arrange for childcare, we actually credit you that amount of childcare hours too. So for somebody who's at the restore working for a 4-hour shift and they had to hire a babysitter, they actually get credit for 8 hours. So we do try to make the sweat equity requirement feasible, even though it can be, because it's all part of the Habitat deal. Yeah, and the willingness to partner.
Come join us.
Yeah, come join us.
Hi, Francisco.
Hey,
I would love to. I just haven't had dinner with my family for a while. I sound like Reagan, so.
Habitat for Humanity is here.
That is awesome.
Where we have one more steward meeting.
Okay, good to know. I'll mark. I'll leave it now. He'll take.
All right,
Sally is one of our city councilors, and
long-term activist.
yes.
She is.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Activist of all causes.
Pause.
Be positive.
Oh,
Nice. So thank you for all the work you put in Pittsburgh. I'm the chair of the city property subcommittee. So the work that you did up in Taft Street, the houses, is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are, it is so exciting when, those projects. move forward. I'll mark my calendar and I'll make a point of being here next week.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. It was nice to meet you. The other piece that's unique to Habitat is that's what we call willingness to partner. Sounds like a nice little phrase, but basically we want to hear from the applicant families that they're going to continue to kind of contribute to the Habitat mission, which it can be helping us with events going forward, like a fundraising event that we might do. We try to invite some of the more recent the new families in the homes to kind of tell a little bit of their story, or maybe they'd be asked to do an interview with a local media outlet or something like that. They don't have to promise that they're gonna do everything we ask them. It's just, it is some verbiage that we feel pretty seriously about, we want to have families that really kind of embrace the Habitat mission, understand it, and are willing to kind of speak to it on occasion. And get the word out there, just like we're trying to do tonight about what Habitat's all about, and so we can, attract more people to apply for our programs. So the last piece being the lottery, after, we're confident that people have met the financial criteria and that whole willingness to partner piece. We literally put the qualifying names in a hat, tell them with a number, not a name, so nobody knows which person is getting drawn, but the last couple houses we did, one in Fitchburg and now in Leominster, we literally went to the city manager's office with our little red bucket, and that person drew out all the qualifying applicants in order, and we wrote them down and notified the winning family, so to speak. It is always broadcast live on Zoom now, so, and we send out the Zoom link, so anybody who's got a lottery entry, and anybody else who's interested for that matter, could ask for a Zoom link, and they can watch the lottery unfold, and that's how we draw all the tickets. It was kind of, we had 12 people make it to the last stage on this last one, so we had to draw 12 tickets. You feel kind of bad for the 11 that come after number one.
Preference in the next drawing or that?
They actually don't. Yeah, we don't, our affiliate doesn't maintain a waiting list, and part of that is because of the lending regulations that we have to act on an application within so many months of receiving it. So there's no real like preference given to anybody.
So they have to go through the whole process the next time around, another 250 hours and all that?
They don't have to do the sweat equity until they're chosen. So there's no sweat equity expectation for an applicant until they become a lottery winner.
Okay.
But they do have to go through the application again. The only thing being that if it's within a few months or a year, we keep all the information that they've submitted on the first one. So things like tax returns and some of the other documentation of expenses and things like that would not be necessary. We're usually looking for updated pay stubs, updated bank statements. The family who just received or was pulled first in the lottery for the Leominster house, it was their third time applying. And the Granite Street house here in Fitchburg, it was her second time
Yep,
applying.
and Acton was their third time too.
So we do encourage people to come back to us again, and we wish there were more houses that we were getting out there in a year besides one or two, but the lottery is the way the state has us do it. And, I think some of it's designed to be for multi-unit housing. So if there is a development going up where there's 8 to 25 apartments or something like that, and they can put people in each of those units by doing the lottery, and then they will, I think, keep a waiting list for a short period of time because they can figure out quickly who's actually going to end up in those units. But we don't do it that way. We start all over again. Yeah. So then, that, like I said, that's usually hopefully about 4 to 6 months before they are actually going to close on the home. So they have that time to put in their sweat equity. We try to guide them with they have to attend a first time homebuyer class, usually done by New View. And so they learn a little bit about maintaining a home and also maintaining a budget to afford a home, because it's going to be a lot different than being a tenant. And it is strictly their house. When they close on it, they are the owner of the property. It's and sometimes that gets explained a few times over too, because they almost think like they're renting the house from Habitat. But
I
no,
have a friend that has one up in Asphalt.
okay.
That's great.
And his wife. And they
They have
ended up
3
with one up
children.
there.
That was one of my first houses that we did. Yep.
I used to be quite involved before I had a stroke and didn't drive anymore. So I worked on houses in Gardner and Acton.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming out and
Yeah.
helping us.
Yeah, Mike was the coordinator at the time, and I knew him before he left and went to teach.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a new construction manager.
Yep, we
and-
do.
I had my own
Youthful.
tools. I helped them with,
He's good.
moving a lot of stuff that they had gotten to get to, storage in one Oak Hill Road.
Yep.
Because I had a trailer and a truck at the time.
Oh, nice. Our next house will be in Erin. It will be a two-family, so we're excited that it will be a two-family. We've done a two-family, couple two families before, but this is exciting because we're after doing the ones in Fitchburg and then just have experiencing the 45 applications in Leominster, we know how much of a need there is.
2.2 family is a duplex.
It's a duplex. It's side by side duplex, yes. Then there's still 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, so they're still, they're great homes. They're very nice. They're affordable. They're lovely homes and people are so grateful and so thankful. And I think that part of what I tell people to do is come to a groundbreaking. Come volunteer for a day. We have a mid build when we are midway through our build. It's a mid build ceremony. It's a great way to see how much progress has come from literally nothing. There's just, there's a dirt and a hole in the ground. And then come to the dedication ceremonies. The dedication ceremonies, it's one of our favorite days because somebody's going home and we did this with help from volunteers and people in the community. And when those people that have come, we've watched students that have done, have been there through the whole, their junior year, now it's their senior year, and they get to see this house being built and a family get to go in it. I think that is it's the most moving experience that you could have is watching somebody know that tonight when they put their head on their pillow, it's in a safe home, not someplace that's unsafe for them.
Also, houses that were rehab, up in Westminster was one
Yeah,
that was done for, their daughter was handicapped, so doors had to be widened,
Mhm.
ramp had to go in.
yep, those are our critical home repairs. That's exactly what happens,
Yeah.
so.
I worked with that one too.
Oh, good.
Because I lived in Westminster at the time.
So I think that we've touched, Lisa and I both have touched a little bit on events that we have, and events is how so our salaries are all through grants and we are 100% nonprofit. So everything that we come in, we raise, everything that we get paid, we raise, and everything that goes towards houses, we raise. So we have events that help us with that. We have a golf tournament in September. We have a 0.0 in June. We have a Toast to Hope in October. I tell everyone to come hang out with me in October. It's $30 for 2 hours. You can eat and drink for 2 hours and tell me where you can do that for $30 anymore. It all goes to Habitat. We have our spring breakfast coming up on May 7th. Mike Tebow, who is a Fitchburg resident, his son Jake was paralyzed in 2021 hockey accident. He is gonna come and talk about Jake's story and about how Jake is doing, who's doing phenomenal. And how his home needed to be accessible. Mike will tell you that when Jake had the accident, he was gonna burn his house down because Jake couldn't go home. And he didn't do it with us. Were fortunate and were able to do it themselves with help from a lot of people. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort in. But Mike's gonna come talk about that and how important it is he has learned now more than ever about how giving back and how helping others is so important, especially because they've needed it in the last 2.5 years more than anybody I've ever known. So it's a free event. Neshoba Valley Tech does our breakfast. It's at the First Parish in Bolton on 117 from 7:30 to 8:30. Come hang out with us. You do have to register though.
Is that the one
and
that?
so- Yes, I was gonna say, and one of your cultural alliance friends is gonna.
Yep. Yes, she's opening up, but yes, she is. See, thank you for clearing that up for me. I didn't even mention that. So yeah, so she'll be there as well. So it's great. You get to meet the homeowners, you get to hear a little more about what we do besides just from what Lisa and I are talking about. And it's a great way to just understand what's happening. And it's a free event, so come eat breakfast, hang out, get to hear some interesting people talk. We do recognize some long-term volunteers that have helped us out a lot. And then that is also the start of Women Build Week, which is super fun because girls play house, women build them. So, and you men can all come, you just have to wear a pink t-shirt, it's totally fine. But you come hang out, and it's a whole group, it's a week of where women come and build, and it's a really fun week, and we bring lunches in for them, and it's just a really great time. And we do have men come too, because it's not, we are not.
Different equal
We're an
opportunity.
equal opportunity employer.
I'll drop a name who passed away recently, who was 100.
Zeke.
Finch.
Zeke Finch, he started, he was the one who started our, yep. Zeke was an amazing human being. He was actually working with us until he passed away.
Yep.
He was an amazing human being.
I've known him all my life.
His heart is big and it is mushy. It is great. He is a wonderful human being. So yeah, we love him. We were very sad when he passed away. But he started our division 34 years ago. He started it and we're so thrilled that we're here because of what he's done.
So it's been in our central Mass for 34 years.
Mhm.
It's grown in scope. I think our
We
towns
used,
have.
yes,
started-
we just took over since I've been with Habitat since 2020. And we just took over 5. It used to be 25 towns, so we've just taken over 5 within the last 4 years. West.
Well, I think I had this conversation again. What is the Montechusett? What is the North Central Mass?
Well, yeah, and that's because we do kind of touch on it, like we do Princeton, and Sterling, but we don't do Holden, we do Templeton and we do Gardner, but we don't do Orange. So but those are in other territories. So when people do call in, we can direct them to whichever affiliate is the correct one. Yes, they are. We're both from Holden, just saying.
That one, and really considering how long I've lived there, that's pretty good.
Once I can get worse, my wife says don't.
Do you cover Clinton?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
cover,
do.
Clinton. Yep. Yes,
Back, right?
yes, from a ways back. We've touched almost that we do a lot, the problem is we need land, so if you have land and you can wanna give it to us, we'll put a house on it. But yeah, we're trying to touch, we've definitely touched every town for critical home repair, more than a couple times, so we try, we get the word out, the Sam Squala just posted when we were doing the Red Day and it got out really well. We need help spreading the word about what we do, and that's what we're asking everybody to do, like, and if you have questions, just call our office, somebody is always there, except the next 2 days. We won't be there.
I just remember Mike Braga.
I know, but I don't think I know who that is.
Construction manager.
I only know Steve and I knew Rick. And now we have a new construction manager, Sal, he's a great guy. He's working hard for us right
Mm.
now, very hard. So, but yeah, I think we're just trying to get the word out there. We need the financial support, but also we don't also want just financial. We need your help building. And we need your help in the office. We need your help at the restore. We need you to go shop at the restore. So I think that's what our big ask is every day.
When I started communicating with Lisa about how we could bring you in here, I know that with something you tried and it didn't work, but I thought at some point, maybe that you had a challenge where people went into restore and had to find things and make art.
We did.
Yeah.
We had it and people were excited about it and it went okay. It wasn't the most successful event we've ever done. But I'd love to do it again. It's on my radar. I just have to get my executive director to let me do it again. I'll talk her into it eventually, when we're not busy.
I work with 2 theaters in Fitchburg, so we're very familiar.
Good. I love to hear that. That's great. Good. And apparently we just got a lot of doors in. They posted a big post that there are doors and doors everywhere, doors. So- Yeah, we are a door though. Yeah.
Oh, the doors.
I wanted to add. Go with that, the network of art stewards that we can tap into to offer. it.
Okay.
There's at least 200 of them, so
Oh,
it's an opportunity.
yeah. Okay, so this is why we're here, because these are things that, and getting people to go to the restore, we offered a gift card for somebody to come in. And then they donated the product back and then we would auction it up. And I've been volunteering with Habitat for it's over 10 years now. And that was my first encounter with Habitat because they had someone made a beautiful beach themed mirror that I had to have and I got outbid. But I was very sad by it, but that was my first experience with it. And that was the first time I'd ever gone to the Restore. I just thought it was a build. I had no idea what it was. So I think that that's where, you know, getting people in there, like stop there before you go to Home Depot or Lowe's. It's on the way, like you're gonna go past it. Just stop in and see what they have, because they really do have a lot of stuff.
And
And
you
if-
have some kitchen stuff too.
They do, they have, so we're with the kitchen deconstruction, we will have more cabinets now. We do sell new cabinets, so if someone's looking to redo their kitchen, we could actually come in, take out your old cabinets, sell them, give you a tax write-off, and we could sell you new cabinets for your new kitchen. And we usually have flooring in there,
All sorts of hardware.
all sorts of hardware and tile, there's you name it. I always tell people we take everything from your toilet minus your seat to your kitchen cabinets and everything in between, other than your bedding.
All
We
the way
don't.
to the kitchen sink.
All the way to the kitchen sink. We take it all. And that's, you know, I mean, sometimes we do ask that you call because there are some things that sometimes we have an excessive amount of couches. We can't take couches right now, but maybe if you wait 2 weeks, if you can hold on to it for 2 weeks, you might be able to take it in a couple weeks. So, you know, we do ask that you call, and we send, you can go online, you send pictures and they'll come pick it up for free. So I think that's where we need people to go to the Restore. Just go to the Restore. Everyone go to the Restore tomorrow or Saturday.
That's an easy.
It's and I think that it's, you get to, when you realize you're buying something and, you know, my mother went in the other day and she's like, I bought this dish for 50 cents. Look how pretty. And it was a really nice dish. And she put our food on it and that's what she served our Easter dinner on. And, you know, so it was just something that she'd gone in and purchased and she was so proud of it. But she knew that the money went to us. So I think that's where the benefit is. And it's a great little place, but we're trying to get the word out. So that's why, you know, if you have questions, please come to us and ask us. And if you think you have the right answer, you probably do, but if you don't, we'll help you get the right answer.
Would you mind saying the hours again? Like,
10 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday. Mhm.
I think we have some
And we
handy
have
dandy
some
materials.
we have some handouts over there with some QR codes to sign up for the spring breakfast and I think women build too. But yeah,
If you go to a bill, do you learn? Or do
you
have to-
do.
So
You
there's
don't
another
have to
option.
know how to do anything. That you go on the construction,
Help is available.
help
Well,
is,
that's- but that's an
it is,
opportunity.
and you know, when I went, I knew my dad had had me help him around the house and stuff, but I wasn't, certainly no skills. And, you know, I went and the construction manager asked if I wanted to use the saw. I was like, by myself? You want me to do the saw by myself? And he showed me how to do it and I went home and I was like, hey, Dad, guess what I did today? Like, I was so proud of myself. All I did was cut a few boards, but I learned how to do it. And in a matter of 10 minutes, and something I say I can now do. By myself, maybe.
So I think just from our creative group of people, you can get cheaper supplies that we store and you
Yeah.
can go and learn how to build things.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You can, and that's why I tell people to volunteer during the build while you're there and then come to the dedication ceremony and you can walk by and be like, I put that trim up over there. And you walk by and you're so proud of yourself, like you did that. I think that's really, I made my daughter do it and she was 17 at the time. I was like, come on, you gotta come help mom, like you gotta come do this. And, you know, I pulled her kicking and screaming. She loved it at the end of the day. She was like, that was so much fun. That was the best day ever. Okay, really? Like, that's what the best day ever was, but
Did you get a recording of that?
no, I did not. I should have, but you know, she's come and helped and she's come and helped volunteer with us and. You know, she was part of the national, and that's the other thing, kids who need hours for National Honor Society or for some of their schools, come help us out. We will hang out with you. You can go work at the Restore. You don't have to deal with the public if you don't want to, because there are some people who are shy who don't want to be in front, you know, dealing with people. They can go in the back and they can test equipment. or they can move stuff around. So there's a lot of different ways that no matter what your personality is and what your skill set is and or how comfortable you are, we will help you. That's what we are here to do.
Anywhere you move in the country,
So
you
if
can find them.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I mean, one of the things we're talking about in this series of our conversations is building a community. And I mean, this also strikes, it's impossible to say, let's put a group of 5 to 10 people together and show up at a build. I mean, I think this is an excellent community building.
Oh, absolutely. We have, this is great ideas that we have. We would love to have a group of people from Fitchburg, the community come for the day. And it's, you can go, and the other thing is you can do a 4-hour shift or you can do an 8-hour shift. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the afternoon. We are so flat, we're not gonna tell you you have to show up at 8:30, you can't leave till 4, like that would be mean. But that's what we have, the reason we can do it so flexible, but the team building effort and the team building that you get out of it. We've gone as our office has gone together and we had in Acton, we were getting to our deadline and we went and painted for 2 days. It was so much fun. We had such, and I've known my coworkers for a long time, but being outside of the office, you know, painting and talking and joking around, it was so much fun and we got a job done and we walked out of the house with almost the entire house painted. It was a pretty good day. So, you know, it's good for you and it's great to get to know people on a different level and doing that kind of volunteer work is good for you and the soul.
And the Granite Street house that's still underway, you know, there's opportunities right here in
Oh.
town.
Mhm.
They were just get the insulation this week to put in and then there'll still be wallboarding and all that finish work and other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty of opportunities.
A paint party.
A paint party.
paint
Oh, we
party.
could have a paint party. We could arrange that, no problem.
Maybe we should say something.
I think that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
We have a volunteer coordinator, Tara Shacko, and she's the one who would, you know, you can literally sign up online, number one thing, there's a tab on the website that you can just
Mhm.
sign up that way, but even if somebody wanted to be in touch with the office and talk to Tara about what's the best way for us to put together a group participation, she would help out,
What do you
because
think of our-
Yeah.
I
oh,
love
that's so
this.
cool.
That would be fantastic. That would,
Yeah.
and again, and so here's my part as a community outreach coordinator. I will promote you like crazy. I have no problem coming to take your picture, putting you all over Facebook and advertising what you do as well. We've just partnered, when we partner with people or people do come as groups, we
You
want,
partner with them.
yeah, but we want to recognize
Yeah.
people and I think it's important. I think sometimes just simply saying thank you and recognizing that they've done good, it makes you feel good at the end of the day. So I always want to make sure that the groups that do come and volunteer, that we do make sure we give them some special recognition. We do
My
that.
brother-in-law went down to Mexico with a bill. And he got permission that he didn't have to stay with the group that went down. He's fluent in Spanish. He stayed with the families
Oh, nice.
that he was working with,
Wow.
because that's what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tara's very used to coordinating with groups because we get them, not just the students, but we get,
Mhm.
you know, Bristol Myers Squibb sends somebody, Best Buy sends, you know, they send people a group at a time, so they plan ahead to know how many are coming and she works with the construction supervisor so that everybody's on the same page. If it's gonna be a few people at a time coming, it's good to know that ahead of time. So Tara could help coordinate that if that's what you guys decide to do.
And if you do work for a big corporation, a lot of them will pay you to volunteer and they'll give us a donation as well. So it's something that you can look into. If you work for a bigger corporation, they will do that as well.
It's a lot of corporations, so whatever you donate, they match.
Yep, a lot, they do have matching donations. We are running a 30 and 30 for our Lemonster build right now. We had a generous donor who offered up to $15,000 for us. So we are trying to raise money in Lemonster to help us finish the build, because you know, we're trying to keep these houses for, you know, $180,000 and material is expensive and it's a lot.
Materials are way down.
Yeah, and we're still, but we want to, you know, the whole point of the whole Habitat goal is to keep these houses affordable for people, and we certainly don't want them to apply for these applications and go through Lisa and then all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, by the way, your house is super expensive now. And they can't afford it. That we want people to succeed. We are not setting anyone up to fail. We're setting them up to succeed. And there are some people who say, oh, I don't want a Habitat house in my neighborhood. It doesn't decrease the value of any of your homes at all. And I don't know what you think that you're getting by having a family that has worked so hard to get a home that appreciates it, probably more than a lot of people that are sitting in those homes. So that's something that we also want to reiterate, that, it doesn't decrease your home, and these people are good people. Lisa, meets with them, they're good people, and they want the home and they work hard for it. So you're not asking anything, you're just helping other people out, and I think everybody should help everybody, so. That's how it should be.
On that note.
That's one thing I was gonna ask about, is whether you face any resistance from communities or neighborhoods.
We do,
sometimes.
we
Yeah.
do. Some people don't want it in their neighborhood because they feel
They
that
feel like it's-
It's different.
it's different and they feel like it's low income, and there's some prejudice about low income, but honestly, and maybe some of it could lead to, but the people that we are working with and partnering with for Habitat homes, those are not those people. These are people who have been down in their luck, or whatever the reason for it is, and they need a hand up, and you know what, they succeed after, so they're great individuals to put into a community, so.
What, can I ask, what strategies or approaches you have found helpful in kind of working with people's resistance? I mean, is it mostly just education?
It's education, yes, and our boss, she does a lot. We've had some people that, have tried to take us to court and say, no, they don't want us there, and yeah, yeah,
Wow,
it's sad. Their karma is not very good, so I'm not really worried about them.
Thankfully,
yeah.
not the majority.
Yeah, but not, no, and we do, but we do have some resistance because we have to present it to, the city, and we have had some resistance. We have had some people that say, no, not in my neighborhood. But
Some of your, like, they're gonna be better than some of these like prefab things that go up.
and
come down.
they're good quality home, they really are, and the students that are building them are getting so much out of it. And that's another thing, like, I read an article the other day that said that for every 5 plumbers or electricians that retire, 1 replaces them. We are gonna be we're gonna be in a situation in 10 years where you're not gonna be able to find a plumber or electrician, and they're hard to get right now. So, having these kids that are in the Monitex and the Lemonster, and, those are great trades, so they don't have to necessarily go to college. Or they go to college to, own their own business or whatever they want to do, but
There was a time in Fishkill, the Money Tech, they were going to do away with trades, just do high tech.
mhm,
And I had a lot of friends that were heavily involved, and said, okay, so you got all these people in high tech. Who's gonna fix their house? Who's gonna do their plumbing? Who's gonna do their electrical?
yeah, exactly. And that's something that, so that's what we're here to do, is to just get the word out there. We want to make sure that everybody knows how the process works in getting a home, because a lot of people do. When I first got the job, one of my friends says, oh, you work for a company that gives free houses. No, I do not. Nothing is free in this world, but I explained it to her, and now she's one of my biggest cheerleaders now, but she really thought that Habitat gave away free houses, which is not true. So I think it's just educating people, making sure they know the process that, Lisa deals with the houses, and that we deal with the critical home repair, our volunteering and our resource. So we juggle a lot. We wear a lot of different hats every day. Some of them, sometimes it's a few in one day, and sometimes we just wear one in one day, but we're here to help people out. So that's what we're here to do, and just make sure that everybody has a safe place to call home.
With trade school. As seniors, they graduate. They immediately go right into the workforce.
Mhm.
You have others, people that go 4 years of college, and they have $100,000 to $200,000 in debt. and they get a job. You want fries with that?
Yep.
All right, any other questions? Anybody online? Well, I'm inspired.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to find out when we have our Fitchburg paint day. Cause you know, when I get to work tomorrow, my first thing is to be like, hey Tara, by the way. Here's Jessie's email. Just send her an email. But yeah, no, that's, and honestly, and that's really something that we really appreciate and it's good for us. It's good for you. It's good for us and the team building that you would get from it. I promise you, you will leave there maybe a little tired, but you will rest your head in your pillow knowing you did good today.
I mean, paintings that say you get that fun, but this, I mean, but that's something that comes down after like
Yeah,
days. This is something.
this is somebody's house. Yeah.
And I've been involved with every level of the arts program from the beginning. And I told Francisco at the time, together, we're stronger.
Absolutely. It does take a village and it really does.
The more that we can spread it out, the better we can do.
Mhm.
All right, well,
Thank you
Yes,
for letting
thank you.
us come and talk to you
Yes,
too, and
thank you.
asking questions and everything. It was really nice to be here.
yes, and there's some delicious. Drinks. And also definitely check out Roberta's photos a little bit and. And some, oh, and I don't know if anybody, it's kind of shoved in the corner here, but. On a totally different note, when you walked in, you may have noticed. The circles on the wall, the Women's Caucus for Art has. The 6,000.
It's called Six that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
So there's a project called 6,000 Circles, and it's actually a national project, but the Women's Caucus organizations from all over the place, as well as some other groups are working on this project, and it's to create 6,000 pieces of art. The show that's up there is all, members of the caucus. I'm one of the artists. And we chose a theme of mothering and motherhood, so all of our pieces are in that theme.
Wow.
But we just did there was a presentation this weekend that was on different women artists. And they did an activity that they led, which was having other people create their own circles. So we have paper circles up there, and there's markers and paints, and if anybody wants to create a circle, feel free. It's just an open activity. Our particular, the Massachusetts caucus is doing this show for 9 months, and every month it's gonna be in a different exhibition in a different town.
And the next one is the Gill Free Public Library in Holden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be very handy. It's a beautiful
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
too.
And
Right.
we have like a 9-month gestation, and we'll keep adding things like.
That's so
That's
neat.
so
Stuff
cool.
out.
Please check it out, because there are so many different ideas of motherhood there, and Shara's is one of them. So,
Nice. That's awesome.
You're in the board, right?
What? Yeah, well, actually, I'm not on the board anymore.
You're not on the
I was
board
the Secretary, but I stepped down this year,
Okay,
because now I'm the secretary of the cultural council.
yeah, okay.
So,
which is last week's.
Right. True.
All right, well,
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very
you.
much. Really appreciate it.
Letting us use the
Yes,
computer.
thank you.
I'm glad. Thank you for saying that. I was worried that I could. Didn't talk a lot.
But the important, working from your heart, you're not just